What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and yet another weekly workshop. This week I've got Gobu Destroyer, a goblin's worst nightmare. Slay 15,000 goblin enemies. Now, if there's any weekly mission in the game that is the epitome of just and play the game, it is this one. Even if you're a super casual player and you only log in a couple of times a week just to complete your daily missions, you are very likely going to finish this weekly. In fact, nearly everywhere in the game, with the exception being probably survival, at least or around 50% of all of the enemies are goblin-type enemies. Now, with that being said, just do what you got on your task list. So if you're climbing Onslaught, just keep climbing Onslaught. It's going to complete. If you're just new and progressing through the game, just keep on playing. It's going to auto-complete, and you're not even going to think about it. And even if you are just popping in once or twice a week to knock out dailies, just do your dailies and do what the dailies have you do, and this will likely complete. Now, with that in mind, of course, there are a few decent spots to go. As I mentioned, survival is not incredible. Survival, there's a lot of different enemies, and it eats into the goblin count. The enemies that are removed from lanes in survival to place in those extra elder wyverns or those extra chieftain or whatever are all goblins. So the goblins get eaten up in survival just a little bit. However, goblins can be super heavy in Onslaught and super heavy in Expeditions. Now let's pop into a couple of Chaos 10 Expedition maps and just look at the goblin count. First off, let's head to the Wild West, or the Wildest West, because, you know, reroll tokens are the stuff, so that is always a wonderful place to farm. And here we are on the Wildest West. Let's take a look at some of these enemy counts. So this enemy here has 61 total enemies in the lane. You see there is going to be, 15, 21, 27. 27 of the 61 mobs in that lane are all goblins. So you got both flavors of frost goblins. You've got the Vanguard, which is a goblin. You've got the ranged goblins. Let's take a look at this one. Here we've got 7, 12, 18, 24. This one's 24 of 77. So this one as well, decent little goblin count. This lane here, we got a bunch of them. We got 24, and that's 31, 32, 36. We got 36 of the 70 enemies on that lane are goblins. Taking a look over here, we've got 80 enemies coming. We've got, 7, 8, 12, 15, 27. So only 27 of those 80 enemies are goblins. Now, this map, of course, you do have that enormous amount of skeletons that make up a ton of the work at the end. Taking a look at this one with 99 enemies, we've got 24, 31... There's 36, 45, 51. So 51 of those 99 enemies are going to be goblins. And then, last but not least, this lane's got 80. We've got, 7, 12, 15, 27. So this one's 27 of 80 are goblins as well. So close to half of the overall enemies on this map are going to be goblins. But more importantly, you're going to be getting a super hot item in the game, and that is the mod reroll tokens. So definitely a great place to farm, really, at all times for any reason. This map is just a wonderful go-to. And here we go into another absolute hotspot, and that is the Gblocks horde incursion. This map is all about goblins. It is very goblin-themed. You see this lane here has got 84 enemies. We've got, 39? That's 63. We've got 63 of the 84 enemies in that lane are goblins. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. It's going to be the same thing on that lane. This lane over here has only got 66. And then it's got a ton of berserkers. of these 66 enemies here, we see there's 24, 33, 39 of the 66 enemies are goblins. So Gblocks horde incursion is definitely a good spot to take a look at. And speaking of incursions, we've got the Revenge of the Yeti incursion. Now, the Revenge of the Yeti incursion, remember, has its own theme, which means there are no chaos enemies. But which also means there is an absolute truckload of goblins. Now, this is a little bit deceiving because later on in the other waves, there's fewer goblins and there's frost orcs added into the mix. However, taking a look at this one, every lane is the same. There's 32 enemies in each and every lane. In every lane has all of the enemies except 4 orcs are goblins. So 28 of the 32 enemies are goblins on this particular map. Now, as I said, that is a little deceiving. As you get further into other waves, there's going to be other mobs that show up. And as with any map, it's going to thin out the goblin count. And you would be better off doing the exact same map, however, going to expeditions instead to get that done. So Drakenfrost Resort, of course, is the Revenge of the Yeti incursion, same map. Now, of course, in expeditions, there are going to be other enemies added in. However, they are still frozen themed lanes, and you're still going to have a bunch of goblins. So taking a look here, we've got, 12, 18, 24 of those 46 enemies are goblins. We got a nice goblin lane right down there, that Frosted Cave. That one, the entire lane is goblins except 2 enemies. So 45 of those 47 enemies are goblins. Taking a look up here, we got 51 total enemies there. There is, 12... 18, 24, there's 30 of the 51 enemies in both of these lanes are goblins. So you're going to get 60 enemies just out of these 2 lanes right here. So if you're going to do this map, you're better off just running the expedition. And the main reason is you're going to get expedition loot, but additionally, once again, you're going to get those mod reroll tokens. And then, of course, if you're super new to the game and you're not able to do those maps, Chaos 1, the Wildest West, is just the place for you. The special enemy for Chaos 1, of course, is the Vanguard, which is a goblin. And as you see, 687 mobs. So definitely a huge goblin count on this map. Taking a look there, there's 114 total enemies. What do we got? We got 21... That's 36, 60, there's 60 of those 114 enemies are goblins. So good stuff. Look over there, there is 90, all but 70, or wait a minute, 20, 30, 42, all but 42 of the enemies, so 48 of those enemies are goblins. Going to be the same thing there, and another huge goblin count here on this lane. Now, of course, the downside with this map is the mob counts just get eaten up by all of those skellies. So there is going to be lots of skellies there, but the thing is this map is just so rewarding. So if you're newer to the game, if you are, in the middle or just did our Ancient Power reset, just keep progressing with your Ancient Power resets because you're going to complete it this weekly anyway. But if you're brand new to the game, you just want to grind, a hot spot would be Chaos 1. The reason Chaos 1 is not only because of those Vanguards, but also for Destruction Shards. So you're going to be getting lots of Destruction Shards for that one. But as I said at the beginning, this one is a just play the game sort of situation. You're just going to complete it. Goblins are the easiest thing in the entirety of the game to kill, and they are in abundance. So getting through that 15,000 total goblins will be pretty easy for just about everyone out there without even paying attention to it. But that will do it for now. I got mixed emotions on this one. Right now I'm playing a bunch of Dungeon Defenders 1, so I feel like I've got to come in and grind to complete this weekly, where I wouldn't necessarily be grinding right now in DD2, but I am, of course, going to still get it all knocked out. But that will do it for now. Thanks a ton for watching, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.